We've got this, Sydney Sweeney did her American Eagle ad, and the left said it was a Nazi dog whistle. These people are just unhinged. And here she is getting heckled at an event recently.
About the ad that is being racist. About the ad that is being racist.
So here's the thing. I'm not one of those people that thinks George Soros is the big bad boogeyman funding every single left-wing protest. Mia, correct me if I'm wrong. Chime in here. That has to be a paid agitator, right? You can't tell me people have so little going on in their lives that in the middle of the day they can drop everything to go and protest a Blue Jeans commercial.
I'm sure there are.
Oh my
There's gotta, I'm sure there's people that'll do that.
Oh my God. And again, it just points back to how unhinged their base has become. I'm not going to sit here and deny that there's unhinged conservatives. Believe me, I see you guys every Saturday morning in the Rumble live chat. We just don't acknowledge you. Some of you message me at odd hours of the night with unhinged conspiracy theories and 3,500 pages worth of documents that I'm not going to read. All that aside, and then you go on profanity-laced tirades when I don't acknowledge you. All that aside, the left's base has gone nuts. And the right, albeit stupidly, there's some folks on the right that have decided they were going to try to troll the liberals. So here's an image. This is what some white conservative women on Twitter have decided to start doing. This is a picture. They've started posting pictures like this. Striking the HH salute. We all know what that one is. I don't have to go into detail about it. That's enough. Here's my thing. Before we get into this and we break down this phenomenon, let me give you a little disclaimer.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
That was really good timing, but that was not my disclaimer. Thank you. I'll give you a disclaimer. I think that's stupid. I would never strike a Nazi. I'm serious. I would never strike a Nazi salute. I don't like Nazis. I think Hitler was, at the absolute worst, a dictator and a murderer. And at the absolute best case scenario, a murderous dictator. And at the absolute worst case scenario, a murderous dictator that was also a satanic pedophile drug addict. So there's that. Okay, we got that. By the way, all you crystal girls out there that get all pissed off at the stuff we say on this show because we're on the right, if you look into Hitler's religious beliefs, you're going to find out that you and Hitler have a lot more in common than you think. Hitler used Christianity because he knew that Christianity was the predominant religion in Germany back in the 1930s and 40s. So he used that, he bastardized it to come to power. Didn't mean he actually believed in Christianity. If you look into eyewitness accounts and a lot of different documents they found about the Nazis, Adolf Hitler was pretty big into the moon and the stars control our temperament, and my moods can be affected by my horoscope, and crystals have healing power, and all the occult bullshit. He was also a vegan art student. In fact, I would go as far to say if Hitler was alive today, he would have a septum piercing.
I'm just imagining Hitler getting the daily newspaper and looking for his horoscope.
Hitler getting his horoscope out? You're a tad bit irritable today. So that's caused the freak out. So there is a woman who is the director of the Nebraska Republican Party communications department. So she handles all the, I believe, correct me if the Nebraska Republican Party, who I know the chair of. They're more than willing to, she'll text me if I get this wrong. But the comms director is the one, you see the press releases come out and whatever. Here's the picture she posted with Megan Hunt's response to it. But here, this is, yeah, pull it up. First off, the girl has a very unfortunate last name. We can all acknowledge that. Haile McAnally, not a good last name. She posted this picture with her dog. It says dog momming it today. Now, I'm not 100% up to date on suburban white girl lingo, but I'm pretty sure that's not a Nazi salute. Mia, maybe you could add more to this. That doesn't look like a Nazi salute to me. Does that look like one to you?
Not really.
No. I see girls doing that all the time. A couple of years ago, that was like the millennial female pose. They do something like that. It's like the slay queen look. But so Nebraska State Senator Megan Hunt, quote tweets it, says, "Did you get the views, Haile? Did you get the clicks? Did you get the engagement? Here's the Nebraska GOP comms director and Omaha Young Republican chair throwing a Roman, as the young Nazis say." So she posted that. So I think we should remind Megan Hunt of this image of her from a couple of years ago. I guess if we're going to set holding the dog even, if we're going to set the precedent that anytime somebody lifts their arm up into the air, that's a Nazi salute, then that's got to apply across the board. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. That's got to apply across the board. Now, by the way, speaking of Megan Hunt, she was grandstanding about the tariffs, talking about the thousands and thousands of dollars that she's had to add on to prices or her business has had to eat. And on Twitter, and people were correctly responding, saying, well, maybe stop selling cheap Chinese shit in your store. And then another one of her regular customers replied and said, she doesn't sell Chinese shit. This right here was made in Lincoln. It's like, okay. So why are you charging people extra for the tariffs then, XXX Meg? That's what we call her, because that may or may not have been a webcam name of hers back in the day. We don't know. Here's the thing with this. The left created this, and I told you they would. Do I think that now, the third picture, that was not a Nazi salute? That's not what she was trying to do. It was an unfortunate gesture, and I will say this. I think as communications director, especially at a time when you've got people looking to score political points and dunk on you, saying that everything is a Nazi racist dog whistle, probably not the best idea. You should probably be a little bit more careful of the things you post. But again, like I said, that's the suburban white girl post. It's ingrained in their souls to pose like that. So I don't even think she was probably second nature. But you still should know better, and you still, if you're in an official position like that, should vet the things you post. Here's the thing. I don't think she's going to step down. She may be tired of all the bullshit and say this is enough, because she's been in a number of these. Mia, if she steps down, should I run to be the new Nebraska Republican Party communications director?
Yes.
Could you imagine my press releases? My press releases would cause more controversy than the controversial news story that my press release was supposed to be about. Could you imagine? It's like, last night, one of our elected officials decided to act like a fucking retard and drive home from the bar instead of getting an Uber. I guess he was too much of a broke bitch to afford the $25 ride home. Fucking loser, couldn't stay with a buddy for the night. Just going off on him. Imagine how much trouble I would get him in. But you know what? Maybe that's an effective PR strategy, Nebraska Republican Party. Maybe if you elect me to be the comms director, you will be able to get you'll all be able to shoulder all of the negative attention, all of the bad juju that comes from whatever press clippings people are going after you. They'll ignore the people that the actual news story and the actual controversy was originally centered around, because they'll be so focused at being outraged at me. And I thrive on that type of hatred because I know what makes those people cheer. It brings me joy to know they hate me. So anyway, the left created this, and these people are trolling them. And I don't think it's a funny troll. I don't think it's something that any of you should do, but they created this. They've cried wolf at every retriever, spaniel, and chihuahua they've seen for the last 15 years, calling it a Nazi. Anyone who disagreed with them 10 years was a Nazi. They created this. And now people are done, because for a while, people denied it. Because they weren't actually Nazis. You'd call someone a Nazi because they wanted to own a gun or have lower taxes, and that was enough to end someone. You get that label. You get enough people calling you Nazi, people got scared. And they just shut up and they went away. And then people started denying it. They started going, "What? I'm not a Nazi. What are you talking about?" And they started fighting back a little bit. And this was always going to be the natural conclusion, which is kind of my theory on it, which is what I've always said is, if I don't care about your opinion, and there's probably 15 people on this planet whose opinions of me I actually care about. If I don't care about your opinion, to quote Eminem, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? in the paper, the news every day I am. Radio won't even play my jam. But no, I am whatever you say I am. If you're going to call me this and that and I don't care about your opinion, that's fine, dude. I'm not going to argue. Oh, you're a racist. Yep, you figured it out. You figured it out. I want my own interracial marriage to be illegal. You figured it out, retard. Congratulations. Oh, you're a homophobe. Yep, I guess I am. Sure. That's but that's the thing. When everyone's been a Nazi. Now we're at, like I said, the inevitable conclusion where people are just going to mockingly agree with you. And they're not actual Nazis, but they're just going to embrace the label to fuck with you because it's beyond parody, and that's all it is a joke at this point when you call everybody a Nazi. I mean, think about it. They called Oliver Anthony released that song we played on the air a couple years ago, "The Rich Men North of Richmond." Didn't mention race once in the song. It was a populist anthem about politicians and corporate elites trampling on the working man. And they called him a Nazi for it. Sydney Sweeney poses in an ad for blue jeans, and they call her a Nazi for it. Kanye what? No, I'm kidding. I go to the No Kings protest incognito just to observe and get some images, which we shared on the air, these unhinged lunatics. And I get called a Nazi because I'm wearing a crucifix necklace that's smaller than my pinky fingernail. This is the boy, the they, them who cried Nazi. You all look nuts. You look paranoid and crazy. You've been playing whack-a-Nazi for the last 10 years, and people are finally just making fun of you for it. You look unhinged. The average person is going to find what those first two girls did to be poor taste, and they're going to go, you know what? That's a very small minority of the population. It doesn't represent a lot of people, and that was wrong, and they shouldn't have done it. But they're going to look at the way you've all freaked out and tried to drag the third one through the mud and say, oh, you people are nuts. You're grasping at straws trying to score political points. You don't actually care about fighting real Nazis, or you wouldn't be focusing so much on this. You're just crazy. That's all there is to it. And it's going to bite you in the ass yet again in the long run. Maybe not the short term, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, but in the long run. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is going to be a funny one. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you can actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.